Okay, today I'm going to go through everyone's favourite bit of equipment, the good old Prowler. So, I'm going to go through these 3 points that are on here and have a look at it in action on the Prowler as well. It's just 3 ways you can use the Prowler to the best effect, not just something which you hate and want to throw up with. So, the first one being effort in direction of travel. So, especially when people are tired, people have a habit of kind of leaning over the top of the Prowler. So what this does is it pushes your weight straight down into the floor on top of the Prowler. You're now making that Prowler heavier than I've made it. I've made it that heavy for a reason. You don't want to be adding any more weight to it. So you want to be pushing in a straight line in the direction of travel. Otherwise you're just adding more pressure into the floor, making it harder to push.
Okay, so at the moment, direction of travel of the Prowler is going to be that direction. So what I want to do is make sure I'm behind the Prowler, pushing all my force straight forward. Don't want to be putting my hands on top, pushing half down as well, because I'm making that much more difficult for myself. Even more so going the other way. When I'm pushing here, I want to be nice and far back so I can push in a straight line this direction. I don't want to be over the top, pushing my weight into the floor, making that a lot harder to push because all my weight's on.
Okay, so the second point we're going to go through is your upper body. So arms straight, tight upper body. So what a lot of people do again, especially when they're tired, they start pushing with their arms all bent and kind of half lean and don't really block anything in. So your arms want to be nice and straight, you want a solid core, so your legs have got something to drive with rather than you just holding loosely onto the Prowler. You want your leg power to be pushing that as best it can so you get the best effect out of it.
Okay, so the point we want to make on this one is where your arms are and how your upper body is. A lot of people start out here and then try and push all the way along here. Doesn't particularly work that well. Fairly loose upper body, not getting much power transfer. You want your arms nice and straight, lock your core in so your tummy's nice and tight, then your body has got something solid which you can push against. Even more so on the way back, arms nice and straight, push nice and strong. That way you've got that nice transfer of energy from your legs through your upper body into that Prowler.
Okay, the final point is that the Prowler is the coach. The Prowler will tell you if you're doing something wrong. If it's more difficult than it needs to be, it's because you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. Especially a newer Prowler, I know a lot of people don't particularly like it, but the way it works is that if it seems to be lifting up at the back, then you're obviously pushing too high up. If it's moving from side to side, you're pushing more with one side than the other. It could show a bit of an imbalance in either your strength or your muscle or something like that. So depending on what the Prowler's doing, if you're finding it difficult for it to push in a straight line relatively effectively, relatively smoothly, then it could be that there is some imbalance there which you need to address, whether it's one side is more stronger than the other, or if you're pushing it slightly wrong, or if you're driving a little bit more one way. So let the Prowler tell you what's wrong, let it show you what you need to work on and how you need to go. You should effectively be able to push in a nice even straight line. It should be difficult, but it should be nice and straight.
So remember, when the Prowler's the coach, if you find you're pushing and you're going a long way this way or a long way the other way, it might be because you're pushing stronger with one side or the other. Either that's you consciously doing that, or it's something of a muscle imbalance that might need to be addressed. The other thing is on the way back, the 2 handles, we try to get you to use the lower ones so you can get the same effect, but if you find that you're getting, especially on the top handles, this happens a lot where the front tips up, it's showing you that you're pushing from too high a point, you need to go lower so you can get that nice effect straight forward. If this isn't going straight, you're pushing it in a funny way. It's an inanimate object, it doesn't guide itself, you're the one powering it, so you need to power it in a straight line.